Hello, hello. So I'm currently at school right now, kind of stashed in the corner just so I don't bother people. So now that all of my beanies and my bandanas are done, I was kind of inspired by some of the videos I've been seeing online about letting people's Pinterests help them pick out their next ideas. So, okay, let's pull it up, let's go through. The only thing is, I know that I use my Pinterest for a lot of things, but luckily they have the little tabs on the top that say like categories. So I'm probably just going to go through the crochet patterns just because I do have a lot of like dress things. I have wallpapers, henna designs, future wedding ideas, even though we don't even have a boyfriend yet. But that's a problem for future me. Alright, let's see. So I have it screen recording on my iPad. I'm probably going to drop it like over here-ish, probably. Let's go over to patterns. And these I'm probably just going to use as inspiration. I don't have really much yarn with me right now. So we'll take these home and we'll see what we can do with them. Ooh. This matcha set is really cute. We are going to, yeah, let's save the image so that I can grab it easier later. And we can use that as a color palette inspiration. Ooh, granny squares. And with charts. That one I might actually be able to do a little bit easier. Never mind, I have fallen for the AI trap again. That is so cute. Being able to have that little sakura in the middle. Ooh, and then someone else was able to make a little bag out of it. Looks like project number 1. Save that image. This would be cute, a little Kindle case sleeve type pattern. Save you. So I've been seeing these little coasters with flower on the outside for so long, but I've never actually made one. Comments look pretty good. It definitely looks like it's in US terms, which makes it a lot easier. Someone was able to also post their photo in there. Alright, let's grab that one, see if we can make a couple. That is so stinking cute. Alright, it doesn't look like there's a pattern for it, unfortunately. And I don't know if I have the patience for a tote bag. We might have to keep this all to small stuff. Ooh. Stuff with the tulips might be cute. I think I might have a pattern in Ribbler that I have saved that has tulips in it. You can check that. I think I have a pattern like this at home. It might be time for me to finally make it because I've had it stashed for a while and I think I already have the yarn bought. But let's see. All right. That is, I think, 4 patterns. Just grab that. I think that is 4 patterns that I have. Seems pretty good for a start, if not the whole thing. Yeah, let's go home and start working on these guys. Okay, so we are back home now. I have my yarns over here. I wanted to try and do the flower coaster one first because it already has the pattern in here. And maybe then if we have time, we can start working on the little flower bag one. Only thing is I do have to leave for work in like 45 minutes, but let's see how far we're able to get on this one for now. Worst comes to worst, we just work on some when we get back tonight, not the end of the world. All right, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Okay, so I think I've found a little bit of a weird hiccup with the pattern. I'm gonna pull it up on here so that you guys are able to see it easier. The picture only has 3 rows of the white, but the pattern calls for 5 rows. And especially, it's weird. So I'm not gonna use this exact pattern, but I am gonna try and find a different pattern that's like this so that we can still do the coaster. All right. So I was able to find this pattern by Hooked and Smithen. I'm gonna link it down below, but it looks pretty close to how the original picture was. So let's follow along and see how it comes out. The general gist of it down. I'm going to cut down to the end and give my final thoughts on this. So I have officially finished the coaster. I really like this. So I timed it out and it takes me about half an hour to make one, but it is also my first time making it. So probably with practice, I'm going to get better. My only little hiccup on it is, and I think this is just a side effect of me doing the beanies for so long and that just being normal double crochets. All of the tulip tops are puff stitches, which are basically just pulling the loops up and not doing anything until the very last end. And I kept trying to do double stitches, the double crochet stitches. So not the end of the world. I just have to actually focus, try and do it a little faster, but I definitely think that, I want to do this in more colors. and I think it's really pretty. And I definitely think it'll help me stash bust because I have a lot of like these little springy colors, but not a lot of them. Like I have a lot of colors, but I don't have a lot of the yarn. So this seems like a good way to stash bust. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, it is now the next day. I apologize if I sound a little funny. I had a dentist appointment this morning and they had to numb my mouth for my cavities. But I have found the sweetest little pattern from SisterKate Crochet with a cherry blossom pattern. It's for just the granny square, but we're just gonna make two and so make a little bag. We have yarns. 1, 2, and 3 are from yesterday. And then we have this new guy, which I pulled off my shelf. It's kind of like a vintage Justy Rose color. And I think it'll be really cute combined. And yeah, let's get working. This probably would do better with a hotter pink in the middle, but I don't really have many hot pinks at my disposal right now, and I don't want to have to go yarn shopping again just for the center row, so we will make do. All right, let's get to work. So about half an hour later, we have this. I am obsessed with it. I definitely see where the neon pink might have been a better option, but I'm not upset with it. Unfortunately, it did take me about half an hour and I changed the outer row to just a normal granny square type, like a closed granny square type double crochet border. I think I'm just gonna make a closed granny square for the back, just to make it easier on myself because I really like this pattern. It's just I need to be able to really pay attention to my stitch count and I don't have the patience for that. I do also have to head to school, so let's get some little school montage clips, and then in between, during my little gap between my classes, we can sew it all together, weave in the ends and yada yada. So I am still on campus, but we're walking and talking because I got a little too focused on crocheting and editing, and I'm going to be late to class unless we start walking now. So the bag is officially done. I did a solid granny square on the back. I was able to like seam it together stitch by stitch with a half double crochet, and then I did a row of single crochets. So I was able to do a row of single crochets around just to get like the full round good. I did a row of double crochets with the holes so that, thank you, so that I could get a little spaces for the cinch, and then double crochet in each stitch at the top so that I could get the ruffles. And then I just took 2 extra strands of each color, except for the dark blue, except for the dark purple. And I just braided it through so that it would add a cinch to the top. And then tell me that isn't the cutest. I definitely think I want to make more again in the future. Just, you know, maybe different colors, different patterns, whatever. But I love this. Please excuse how stuffy I sound. The winter is not very good to me, but I am doing final edits. The files are officially getting too big, and we are going to have to split
Pinterest picks my patterns into at least a 2-part. I am really enjoying this, so it might turn into a series. But at least for now, this episode is going to have to turn into 2 parts, and part 2 will be out later this week. See ya!